Sometimes WACs are called upon to take part in special maneuvers like this one to test Arctic equipment and obtain special information for the Army. In extreme cold, the girls go on bivouac and learn how to live in the snow. WACs must be ready to work and live in any climate, and their equipment and clothing must be tested if they are to survive. Transportation in the Arctic is a problem. They must learn how to maneuver and get about in frigid weather. They must learn how to ski and walk with snowshoes. In this test, home is carried on your back, and a friend helps you to load it. Marching in the deep snow isn't easy, and the girls have to learn how to conserve their strength. A strenuous workout like this gives the girls a good appetite. Bivouac isn't so much fun under conditions like these, but it's all part of preparing the Women's Army Corps to be able to function under any conditions. But in whatever part of the world they are stationed, off-duty hours means sightseeing and relaxation. It may be a rickshaw ride through the streets of Tokyo, or bargaining with a local storekeeper. And along the fashionable boulevards of Paris, the uniform of the Women's Army Corps still commands attention. All the well-known sights are visited, including the Eiffel Tower. At the Louvre, the girls saturate themselves in European culture and pay a visit to the statue of Venus de Milo. At special leave resorts, the girls again take to skis, while others watch winter games. WACs lucky enough to be stationed near Garmisch in Germany get an unusual thrill when they ride the mountain cable car. This is the Women's Army Corps at work and play, in communications or at headquarters. Their tasks are never ending. In the dispensary, it might be giving diathermy treatment or teaching a veteran how to walk again. The WACs are skilled in highly technical jobs, such as X-ray technicians, and their training is used to save lives. The Women's Army Corps is again on the upswing. Integrated throughout the entire organization of the Army, women in uniform are achieving greater accomplishments than ever before. There is no horizon to their endeavor, and our Army is proud of them. Oldest of the women's services is the Army Nurse Corps, which celebrated its 51st birthday this year.
In our hospitals in the Far East, Army nurses, teamed with our doctors, have achieved the finest medical record in military history. Countless lives have been saved through their professional skill and devoted care of our sick and wounded. We have women dietitians supervising the preparation and serving of good, wholesome food to our sick and wounded. We have women physiotherapists supervising skilled treatment and exercise for their patients, an essential factor in rebuilding sick bodies.
Army nurses holding the rank of commissioned officers are writing another historic chapter in their saga of service. Just as they were in our past, nurses today are on duty. They carry on the same selfless service. Wherever they are, the battlefields of our armies are their workshop. The profession of healing is their business. On medical trains, they continue to tend the wounded. In their selfless humanitarian service, they seem to supply that hard-to-define something called the will to live. To the helpless, injured men, they become arms and legs. They go about their rounds quietly, helping and comforting. Army nurses were the first American women to be assigned to the Korean combat zone, and many are still there. But whether it is in the wards or in surgery, women are part of the medical team which gives our injured soldiers the finest medical treatment available. In tent hospitals like this, somewhere in Korea, Army nurses serve round the clock, or staff the many mobile hospital units which ebb and flow with the tide of battle. Taking temperatures, they care for the battle injured. A pulse is checked, and a wounded man is fed. Whatever the task, they strengthen the road to recovery. They are part of the quiet fight to save life. Behind them are years of training, study, and practice, and it all suddenly finds purpose in a surgical tent somewhere in Korea. Nurses enjoy off-duty recreation, too, when rest and relaxation are the order of the day. And when there's time, they add that feminine touch. And there are always the sights to see and souvenirs to buy. The Army Nurse Corps is 5,000 strong, and there's need for more. Wherever sick and wounded soldiers need aid, there always will be found the Army Nurse Corps. Working with them is the newest corps of women in uniform, the Women's Medical Specialist Corps, made up of physical therapists, dietitians, and occupational therapists. With these specialists, the Army rounds out its highly skilled health team. Their specialized skills help bodies to recover. The wounded get the benefits of medicine's most advanced techniques. These, then, are your skirted soldiers, nurses in Korea, carrying on their healing. Specialists applying the most advanced techniques, and the Women's Army Corps at work in administration, replacing men for combat duty, filling 100 jobs which must be done if our Army is to stay prepared. Around the world, they serve with the men of our Army. With our soldiers, they are on guard, ready to make the machinery of defense run smoothly. Wherever they are needed, and whatever the job, the women in uniform are ready, a great part of our defense team. The Women's Army Corps, the Army Nurse Corps, and the Women's Medical Specialist Corps.
This unique combination of Army servicewomen, nurses, medical specialists, and WACs has contributed magnificently in helping to discharge the heavy responsibilities which we have in the Far East. I am proud of these splendid young women sharing our service in this vitally important region. I wish we had many more of them. They are an invaluable part of this command, and their willingness to share responsibility in our great struggle for a free world should command the respect of all Americans.
That's the story of the women in your Army, soldiers in their own right, upholding the Army's traditions of service and duty. Women in uniform, serving their country and you. Next week on The Big Picture, passing in review will be the Army Signal Corps, the eyes and ears of your Army. This is Captain Carl Zimmerman inviting you to be with us then.